Hey guys, welcome to this video. My name is DevChooks and I'm a software engineer. Today we're going to be working on the functionality that allows you to reposition cards within its own group. So within a particular group. We're not going for external groups yet, just within a particular group. Then if we have some more time at the end, then we're going to work on moving it within external groups. But let's start from within a particular group. All right. Once we understand that, I think it's going to be a little bit easier to move it outside. All right. So let's start from here. The first thing I want to do is that I want to change the on drag end. What happens there? So I'm going to say handle drag end, handle drag end. I'm not going to call it like an arrow function. I'm just going to like call it that way. And then I'm going to create an arrow function, handle drag end, and this is going to be an arrow function. It can be a normal function. This is just preference speaking. All right, now I'm going to pass in an event, and I'm sure you know why we can just pass in an event, because here we didn't specify anything, so we can just call it that way. It's the same thing as saying e, and then passing it here. Same thing, but we're not going to do that. It's of no use. Waste of space, waste of time. All right, now we want to console the log events just to be sure that everything still works the way it's meant to work. I'm going to console the log events. So if I drag this, you can see event still happens the way it's meant to happen, destination, source, and all of that. All right, now let's destructure events just so that we don't keep wasting our time trying to destructure anytime we want to use events. At least let's do the top level destructuring. So I'm going to say source, destination, There's something else I forgot to add initially, and that's type. So I'm just going to go back and add it now, event. So basically, if I come right here, droppable, where I have droppable, yes, add a type as part of the props. So type, let's call it group. The reason why we do it that way is like we want to know if we're dragging from an external source or internal source or within an array and all of that. So if I move this now, then it should also tell me what type is. So index, blah, blah, blah. It also tells me what the type is. So let's go. Going back up, now let's start. So the first thing I want to do is to make sure that source and destination are even present. All right. So I'm going to say if not source or not destination, then just return. Let nothing happen. All right. It's as good as not moving the card at all. Or if there's an issue, then it just passes, doesn't do anything. And the next thing we want to do is that we want to create a way of knowing if we are moving from the same group or from a different group. So for now, we're just going to say is same group. So we're asking the question, is it the same group? I just remembered something one of my colleagues did that's actually very funny, but maybe I'll talk about it sometime. So is same group, like source dot droppable ID. So if the droppable ID of the source and the droppable ID of the destination are the same, then that means we are dragging on the same group, right? That's what it means, that we're dragging on the same group. So source dot droppable is strictly equal to destination dot droppable ID. So if that's the case, then we are on the same group. So if you look at this now, I'm just going to console.log is same group. So if I move this now, you see that in the same group is true. If I move this to a different one, you see that in the same group is false because they are not the same. So moving on, let's work on functionality now. Basically, what we want to do is that we then want to write a logic for that. So if is same group, all right, if is same group and that's what we want to do. Well, we don't even need to work on like the index because it's only going to happen if there's a dragging, right? So if it's same group, what we want to do is that let's create a new array. So we're going to say const new array is equal to array dot stores. All right. And basically the stores we want to look at is the stores of where that particular group. All right, we want to look at the list of that particular group. So the way to do that is that we're going to do const group index. All right, just go with me. Const group index is equal to stores dot find index. We want to find the index. Stores dot find index, and we're going to say store. So each one is going to be a store. And we want to find the index where store dot id is equal to either destination dot id or source dot droppable id, because both of them are the same. So we want to find out what is the index where source dot droppable id is. So any index, we're now going to create a new array from that group index. All right, sweet. So I like to take this down a bit, and then I want to log this so that at each time I'll know what is going on. So let's log the group index, and let's log. All right, we have quite some. All right, let's log the group index. Let's log the new array. So if you look at this, basically, if I move this, oops, something is broken. So stores. Dot items, sorry. Dot items, my bad. Yep, so let's try again, move. So you see we have same group true, group index 2, which is because it's on the last one, and then new array, we have all our items here. So basically what we want to do right now, what we want to do right now is to reposition this stuff, but I think we should move that to the next video because there was a little bit of explanation that's happened here. I don't want us to get lost in the middle. All right. Oh, well, let's see how fast we can go. So basically, I'm going to say the new array. I'm going to say new array dot splice. New array dot splice. And where do we want to start splicing from? We want to start splicing from the source dot index and we just want to splice just that one. All right. We need to set this into particular item. So const removed. It returns an array, so we can just destructure the array at once. Removed. And then we want to move it to new array. New array dot splice. We want to splice where the destination is, destination dot index. It's going to be confusing, but I think I'll just explain that in the next video. And we want to say, don't remove anything, just create a space there. That's why we're using 0. And then that space you created, put removed there. And then after putting removed there, we now want to say set stores equals to whatever stores is, and in addition, okay, sorry, let's just do it this way. So let's also destructure stores. So const original array equals to stores. So here we want to say original array index group index. I'll explain this in the next video. Dot items should now be equal to the new array. All right. Again, that's group array. All right, and then set stores to original array. I just hope this works. If it doesn't work, we're going to the next video. So, all right. So items not defined. Sorry, make this a string. This should work now. So if I drag cabbage to onions position, it stays there. If I drag bread to a different position, if I drag anything within any of these, it stays. All right, it stays just fine. If I drag this, it stays just fine. But if I drag it to a different group, then it goes back. If I drag it to a different group, it goes back. But within a group, it stays in the new position. See you guys in the next video. Sorry for making this too long, but I think it was necessary. See you next week.